We're just okay, and we play some
Movies.
games. We're just okay.
Movie
games.
watchers.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Okay Movies. I'm your host, suntan specialist BIGGIESIZE, and I'm here with...
Oh, Puppet Master Gweedo.
And Wishmaker Wally.
Well, what's going on, guys?
Oh, boy. Not much. Ready to talk about old dogs, man. I'm ready to fucking talk
I'm
about
so
old
stoked
dogs.
for old dog.
Dude, you have been waiting for a long time to talk about this movie.
Because
And,
it's such a special movie.
I love you, Gweedo, because like the two films you've recommended have been Baby's Day Out and Old Dogs, and you just get like so giddy about getting to watch them and talk about it. It's intoxicating. So I'm like, all right, let's do this.
You
And
seem
we
to have
had-
a passion for movies that have a frantic pace.
That's a good
I watched
observation.
I watched a lot of movies when I was smoking dope, and Baby's Day Out stood out because I was like, who's watching this baby? And Old Dogs definitely sticks out because it's a ride. It's fucking insane. It's insane.
It's a fever dream.
It certainly is. So what we did was in our in the Just Okay Gamers Discord group, and if you're not a part of it, please join in discord.gg/Just Okay Gamers. I think that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got
And
it.
That's right.
we watched a movie all together, and we watched Old Dogs, and it was quite humorous because, and we'll get into it, but the film has a very interesting pace and a lot of different tastes in humor, and it was neat seeing how many people we have, like 15 people, with all
about
different
that.
types. Yeah, it was a good group. People laughing at like kind of random spots. You're like, okay, this is where that person's humor lies, and that was fun because this is a very I would definitely call it a unique experience. And I say we go ahead and jump into it then. Gweedo, would you mind just giving a brief synopsis of Old Dogs?
Oh boy. Well, first there's some precursors. We have to mention that this is a 128-minute movie. It's an hour and a half. And it doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't feel like
It feels like you watched a 15-minute YouTube video. Or that you watched like several 15-minute YouTube videos stitched together.
Yeah.
And another thing is this movie was originally going to be R. It was going to be an R-rated
really?
movie. It was cut down from, I think, like 120 minutes down to what it is. So they cut off almost a half an hour.
Oh, now
Of
speaking
this
of that,
movie.
then, so was it not originally done by Disney, and they
It wasn't.
picked it up from someone else?
They did 3 reshoots
Wait.
on this movie.
Really?
Not
director-
reshoots. It was delays. 3
the
delays.
highlight movie for the director is Van Wilder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
That
it's
makes
like-
sense.
Yeah, so that they had to have, they cropped all that off and they make it into a kids film, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
A family film, right?
Because they couldn't get a buyer for it.
Because it's shit.
Yeah, because it was a shitty movie. So they cut that out and they finally just ended up selling it to Disney and pitching it as a kids movie.
Huh.
But they delayed it 3 times because I believe, well, one was Bernie Mac died.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Bernie Mac is in this movie. It's his legacy film. The
He's
other
like
one
a bit role, too.
was, I think, like John Travolta's son died or something.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
And Robin Williams had a heart attack. So they delayed it all those 3 times, and finally they released it to mild fare. Not too many critically acclaimed reviews on this film. Anyways, oh fuck, where do I begin about explaining this movie? So, John Travolta and Robin Williams are in the business of sports marketing, right?
Which you would never, ever know by
Right.
actually watching what they're doing.
Right. You look like what they don't explain what they want to do or what they do. They're just sports marketers. And they have a big deal with the Japanese. And the Japanese is just the Japanese. There's no company associated with them.
Yeah, or what they do.
They're just the Japanese. And for some reason, the Japanese want these sports marketers to work with them. For whatever fucking reason, no one knows. They have this giant opportunity to make a lot of money with the Japanese. And right at the cusp of them making this deal, which they're in a boardroom.
Oh God.
We gotta go scene by scene in this movie because it's so fucking crazy. They're in a meeting and they want to they're trying to make a deal with the Japanese, and they want to do that. They're setting the scene by explaining how John Travolta is explaining how Robin Williams had a one-night stand after his divorce in Miami with a woman, and he got a Fremont tattoo.
Yeah.
So that's how they kind of break the ice with these Japanese. And later on, after that meeting, it goes spectacularly. As the interpreter says she writes on a note, like, this is going, you're killing it with the story. God damn. I'm all fractured because the movie's fractured. But
Yeah.
anyways, they're making this deal, and the woman that he had the one night stand with shows up out of nowhere, and she's like, maybe we can reconcile our differences and start a relationship. And this is 7 years later, mind you.
Yeah.
And
oh, by the way, I have kids and they're yours.
Yes, but we're skipping so much because before she reaches out to him, and before he meets her, John Travolta's like, "Hey, she hasn't seen you in a while. You need to get tan, buddy."
Oh, the tanning booth, yes.
So they go to a tanning salon, and it's like a weird.
It's like a 90s tanning salon, I guess.
Right.
It's very high end, and Travolta's hitting up the tanning girl, who apparently is not only the receptionist, but is also the owner and the person that watches all the tanning booths and the people in them simultaneously. Which is also part of the gag, because as he's chatting her up, she's conveniently forgets that Robin Williams is in the tanning booth, and he basically gets like Indian blackface because he's in there for so long.
Right. Yeah, he gets sprayed with a tan, and it's this weird like Auschwitz shower fucking scene.
First off, why is he sealed in there?
Yeah, he's sealed, no escape as the tanning goes on. Just by a press of a button, he can't stop it, and he ends up like going into a fetal position and just passing out as like spray tan is covering his body.
And he collapses.
And like, it's not on a timer. The receptionist has to press a button to stop it. So like, I guess she's supposed to keep track of time on how long they've been in there. Like, and the whole thing just doesn't make sense.
She tells him to count down from 10. And he does it in the scene, and he's like, and then there's like an intercom inside the shower. He's like, "Okay, I did 10." And she's
Eventually
like, "Okay, I'll be right with you."
And Travolta's flirting with her, and they're like, "Oh God, newbies to tanning, am I right?" Well, he's screaming for his life, well past 10 seconds. And
this is the first
succumbs.
fucking 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, we're not even, like, in all seriousness, this is less than 15 minutes of the film.
He curls up into a fetal position and succumbs.
He does.
And then comes out in blackface.
Essentially, where there's a point in the movie right after that where he's in Grand Central Station or something, right? He's in a train station. And an Indian guy comes up to him and asks him where, like, he says something about, like, did you get that shirt at Old Navy?
Yeah.
And it's so insulting.
It's shocking for a Disney film to be, especially like a really like modern Disney film, you know, within reason, to have that kind of joke. And it's not the first one. It's maybe one of the more milder ones that happened.
There's something about the gags in this movie that make it very 80s. Like jokes that would have flown in like Caddyshack or any kind of like Naked Gun or something just would not fly now. It was in there. This was like 2009. Right. Like blackface jokes, gender jokes,
and fart noises and funny faces, and yeah, it was just, I don't know.
I don't want to jump ahead, but we're gonna get to the scene. But another example of that is the golfing scene,
right?
When they're all
where everybody's getting hit in the dick.
Yeah, that is a classic 80s situational. I mean, I was expecting Rodney Dangerfield to come out, and talk about ball shots or something.
Right. So this lady shows up, Kelly Preston, the wonderful Kelly Preston, and says, "Hey, it's good to see you." She calls him Tan instead of Dan. And she drops a bomb. She says she has kids. And he's like, "Oh, that's fine. You know, this is Robin Williams." He says, "Okay, that's fine, you know, but I want to rekindle our relationship and whatnot." And while she's doing it, she's like, "Well, after these 7 years, I realized that my kids needed a dad and they don't have that. And the sole reason why she wanted to bring these kids with," that she states, "is because she realized that her son had never been in a men's bathroom."
And God, I forgot about that.
I forgot about the bathroom.
Oh my God.
So after she drops that bomb, she's like, "Man, I love my kids." And surprise, and then the kids, the very first thing out of their mouths is, "Daddy!" Which these kids have been alive for 7 years. They've never met this man in their life.
Right.
And their first reaction is to shout "Daddy" and run towards him to give him a hug. It's fucking insane, man. You can't, there's nothing, this movie doesn't follow any sort of logic. So, smash cut. Fucking right directly after that, Robin Williams is in the bathroom with a 7-year-old boy as he poops out of his butt.
Fart sounds and everything.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
In the same stall, watching the kid poop, and they have a conversation about what sex is.
I know. Like they cram a birds and the bees joke in the middle of the already awkward joke about him watching the kid shit.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts.
And not like a whole, you know, Robin Williams is facing away. He's facing right at him while this kid is sitting pants off on the toilet. Like, it is extremely awkward.
And it's like, the kid says, "Can you tell me where babies come from?"
Like out of nowhere.
And then just farts. So the kid's in the he's actively pooping. He's taking a shit. So, of course, Robin Williams is apprehensive about having these kids in his life, but he decides that he wants to make a run at it with this lady. But before that can happen, the lady drops another bomb on him. This horrible, horrible mother. Horrible mother. "Hey, I haven't seen you in 7 years. You're a father. Here they are. I'm going to jail. Can you watch them for 3 weeks?" She's some sort of eco-terrorist or something, right?
I couldn't
It's something
quite
like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty small because she's not going to be there very long.
Right. And of course, Robin Williams accepts. He's like, "Of course I'll watch my children. Because I'm glad you came to me, the man you haven't spoken to in 7 years, for this." And she immediately goes off to jail.
Not before destroying his mother-in-law's hands, and don't forget the hospital too.
Oh,
Oh
oh,
God!
Robin Williams.
The mom also has a best friend, and that
A
plot
best
doesn't
friend.
really
I
go
thought
anywhere.
it was like her mom or something. Was it a best friend?
I thought it was the best friend, but maybe it was
Okay.
her mom. We don't really know, other than she's a hand model. That's really all we know.
It's unclear. And she's
And
she's
she's
a hand. Oh, that's
cross-eyed?
Yeah,
right.
she's
hand model.
cross-eyed. That was Rita Wilson.
And they smashed her hands in the trunk. That's what that stuck with me.
So why
Yeah.
couldn't she watch the kids for a week?
Exactly. she had.
Well, it's a problem. It's an answer in search of a problem though, because
Right.
they answered the question that was that by injuring her and putting her in the hospital. But the reason that she was injured and put in the hospital is because he was helping them pack for something that he agreed to that she could have helped with.
Right. You're absolutely
the
right.
decision to make her cross-eyed was so strange.
Very, because I wondered if I was looking at her right. I'm like, that's such a random character trait, and they don't even do anything with it. It's just she's cross-eyed. No one makes fun of her about it. It doesn't somehow play into like, oh, she walks into stuff. She's just cross-eyed. That's her character, other than the hands.
Yeah.
Weird choice.
It sounds like the name of like the worst Avenger.
Cross-eyed?
Cross-eyed.
Oh, goodness.
So the mom takes off, and fuck, what happens next?
Pretty much
kids-
it kind of goes into your standard dad over his head with these kids, having to take care of them kind of vibe, but he's got to balance the work and take care of the kids kind of thing. Yeah, it starts to look like the movie it's trying to be for a little while.
Actually, go to a
For
camp
a very
too.
little while until they go camping.
At the shittiest camp for kids I've ever seen. I would have been pissed.
Wait. Did the safety squad make their appearance before?
Oh, the
or after
safety was
camp?
before the camping.
Okay,
Right, that's true.
Jesus Christ.
Which was Dax Shepard and can't think of the
It's like
Hispanic
every
man's name.
single comedy character actor in that time frame was in this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They come to Baby Proof, John Travolta's apartment. And before that, there's like that Nazi-like adults only lady that found the kid, because Robin Williams tries to smuggle the kids into his adults only condo. And then some fucking searchlights shoot on, and the lady's like, "There's fucking kids here," and starts going nuts.
Fucking Galag 13 kind of a thing. Yeah.
Oh my god. That was
But yeah, so John Travolta decides to take him in. He needs some. He's a bachelor man. He wants to hit on all the ladies. So he's like, kids are gonna cramp my style. But Robin Williams, pleads with him and ends up getting the better of him. He decides to take him in for the week inside of his very nice condo. But the baby proofers come and baby proof it because these 7-year-olds are, they might hurt themselves. This is Robin Williams. I guess he doesn't
You know
know,
what?
right?
We never mentioned the fact that Travolta's had an old dog either.
Oh yeah, Lucky.
yeah.
Lucky.
He also has a dog.
So many moving parts.
There's a lot of pieces to this movie where I could just rattle them off and you guys be like, whoa. I've seen this movie a lot.
Yeah, and we're still about the 30-minute mark. I think we're at about right now.
I'll try and speed it up.
No, you're good. There's the more you talk about it, the more questions start popping up. Like you mentioned at the very beginning that this was reshot 3 times. I'm like, okay, this makes more sense now. I kind of want to rewatch it again with that knowledge.
Yeah. I want to see what they cut.
Yeah.
I want to see that R-rated one. Maybe it's better. Who knows?
I have to be.
There's flashes of that, of where you can see that too, because they do the whole camping thing, which was they take them camping and they have an ultimate frisbee fight where it's just the adults playing ultimate frisbee and all the children watching. And And then what does he do? He ends up like knocking the head off of. Oh, he shoots. They're shooting trap again
Right.
while the kids are watching. And Robin Williams ends up shooting the head off of the founder of this camp. and then they're like, we should get out of here, or something.
And then they leave. That's it.
They leave. They go back, but then they're in the hotel room or in the condo. John Travolta's in, and they're like, I'm glad we got out of there when we did. And then it flashes back to them at the camp where Robin Williams ends up setting that same statue on fire. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah. I had a brief moment where I was like, that must be what it's like to trip on acid. Because it was out of nowhere. Like, I think he was like trying to make a campfire, and somehow all of a sudden you see the whole statue that's made out of wood just go up in flames within like, what, 2 seconds maybe? Like, it throws you off. Because it's just, I guess.
They're already gone. They're gone from the camp.
Yeah.
Like,
it was
there's no need to flash back.
Yeah, you know, the shooting the head off the thing was enough, so I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. They got this footage. Let's eat up in like 3 seconds and keep going.
The movie's fucking weird, man.
It is. And so they go back to doing business, and eventually the chick from Full House.
Yeah, the chick from Full House gets involved.
The Japanese interpreter. She invites John Travolta to come out to like a lake house or something for the weekend.
Does the montage of them actually starting to click with the kids happen before that or after it, though?
This is after.
Okay. So they do a whole bunch of things on a list.
Well, the kids know
bonding.
that's after the pills.
Okay. Okay.
We haven't even gotten to the pills yet.
Okay.
By far, probably one of the best plot points. I like the pills part.
So, they have this war of words where they're talking about the side effects of their pills. They're both in the bathroom, like talking about their pills that they take because they're old dogs.
Right.
And they're like, this one side effect is it causes face paralysis. And then Ramon's like, well, this one causes a swollen tongue. And it just goes back and forth, like setting up the eventual jokes that you know are coming. And it goes to the kids. The kids end up knocking over all the pills into the sink, and they decide
and they're like, oh! I think I know where they went back originally.
Yeah. So they tried their best to put him back, but of course, the following morning, Robin Williams has a big meeting on the golf course with the Japanese, and John Travolta has to go to this lake house, which the lady said bring the kids. So Travolta's now taking these kids that he met 3 days ago to a lake house party to go hit on a chick. But before they go, they both take their pills, and of course, they mixed them up. And there's two stories going on at this point because they're playing the movie, but they're both everything's going on in real time.
Right.
So Robin Williams is golfing, Travolta's at the lake house, which the lake house ends up being a bereavement group.
That the translator chick is a part of. Because her grandma died half a year ago.
And they get together to talk about the loved ones that they've lost.
Okay, and one of the ways of handling the bereavement as part of the group session outside of this clubhouse is to bring baked goods that were from recipes of the people that died?
No. That's the thing. That's what I originally thought when I first saw this. But they're there mourning the loss of one of the members of their bereavement group who just died.
And that's her pies and stuff.
That's her pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's more than just pie, though. There's all kinds of crazy ass shit.
Yeah, because one of the side effects that John Travolta had after eating his pills is aggressive hunger. He need like insatiable hunger. He needs to eat.
He like thrust his face into the food.
into this poor dead lady's rhubarb pie. He
And of
just
course-
gives it straight. He just eats it out like it's a fucking pussy.
And he's like moaning, like it's so good for the taste. He needs the food, and the bereavement leader is like, "What are you doing? This pie's fantastic. Whose is it? She's dead." And she like screams, "She's dead!"
She attacks him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Robin Williams is at the golf course, and he has loss of depth perception, and he can't talk because his tongue is swollen. So there's this whole scene of a bunch of pratfalls and him like sticking his foot in the trunk, and he's got his clubs on his back, and he gets real close to everybody because he has no depth perception. It was funny in like an old timey sense. It was like watching a Three Stooges movie.
The whole like half the movie is old timey though. I love it. It's like a lot of slapstick.
Also, Seth Green is in this movie, and he plays kind of a decent sized role, but not really. We'll get to
Not
that.
really, no.
Oh god, I forgot about him. Shit.
I love how it like delightfully dates the movie with his presence too.
It
Yeah.
does. It does.
So he hits Seth Green in the balls a few times. He's teeing off, and he takes a swing at the golf ball. Everybody's standing behind him. He takes a swing at the golf ball, misses, and then draws his backswing again, because that's how people golf. They swing up and then immediately backswing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And he hits the ball backwards into Seth Green's dick. And Seth Green's like, "It's okay, take it, do it again." And he does it again, and of course, he does the same thing to one of the Japanese men.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And then he does it a third time because comedy comes in threes, and it hits Seth Green again.
I
forgot
love the
about that.
absolute like ironclad need for the Japanese to have a suspension of disbelief too.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's really focused when he can't talk.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
Like all the incompetence is excused by some noble, meritable trait.
Now we go back to John Travolta, who's at the bereavement party. He just ate all the food, and he goes and he takes the kids, because the kids are there. He takes the kids are at the bereavement party. He takes them aside and he's like, I feel bad for what I did, but I think I'm just going to go talk to him. And the kids are like, yeah, you should do that, while they're looking at him. And then it shows his face.
It's all
And he-
fucked up.
It's all fucked up, man. Because he's got like facial tics going on. Because of course, the pills. And then,
Which then metastasizes into a permanent, like overbearing Joker-like grin.
right. It's like the shitty, and it's CGI. It's not even Joker-like in the sense that the one in the Batman was all practical effects. It was makeup. This is like CGI'd giant John Travolta mouth and stuck in this smile. And of course,
Uncanny Valley's hard.
it happens when he's when they're having the talk about the people that they've lost at the bereavement group. Yeah, so if you need to look up an image of John Travolta's smile in this movie, because it's fucking creepy.
Extremely.
So-
I couldn't believe Guido had shared some to the Discord group, and honestly, I thought they were just like mock-ups people did just to make that one scene look funny. No, it's real, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, in order to stop us from running long, because there's a lot more to talk about this,
Yeah.
John Travolta or Robin Williams fucks up. He decides to choose the company over the kids. He flies to Japan. He decides while he's in Japan that he can't take it. He needs to be back with the kids. Goes back and ends up winning the kids' hearts and Kelly Preston's hearts. They decide to try all over.
And they end up getting the account because they want a
Right.
family-friendly group to work with. The Japanese did. So your typical ending family film.
But just to bring back some of the, because there's so much insanity in this movie, could you guys, what scene that we haven't talked about sticks out the most for you, that we could just kind of give people a taste of what this fucking, what kind of fever dream this film is?
One scene? Oh
yeah,
God.
one bit.
Well, shit.
There's so many, Biggie. Come on. You got the whole zoo. You got the jetpack. You got the fucking puppet master, Bernie Mac.
Okay, yeah, the puppet master part is, it comes out of nowhere. See, we go all the way to Robin Williams decides he can't relate with his kids. So John Travolta's like, I know a guy. And he gets Bernie Mac, who apparently has a electronics like apparatus, like just like a skin suit you can put over someone, and someone on the controls can basically control their movements. So They end up having like this little tea party, Robin Williams with the little girl, and he's being controlled by Bernie Mac, and John Travolta is saying everything that Robin Williams should say through a little headset. It is the most random scene that it's just, it doesn't make sense. Because when this happened, was this right after the camp? Like it was somewhere around there, where just like
somewhere, yeah.
Like with the pace, it just doesn't make sense. I think that if there's one thing, like everything we've talked about, it doesn't make, parts of it don't make sense like that. But you kind of hear like, oh, the pills getting messed up. Oh, the kids going to a camp. That sounds like pretty normal family movie kind of stuff. It sounds pretty normal. The pacing, though, that is what throws this movie into a tailspin.
Absolutely.
It's you start going through a pace that feels like, okay, this feels like a normal, early mid 2000s Disney family film, where the old guy's got to learn how to be a dad. But then these fever dream, I think that's what Wally called it, fever dream paced like segments just kicking out of nowhere, especially with the when he meets the mom for the first time at the restaurant. Like, you just go when they're like, Daddy, and he like looks at them, and then for the next like 30 seconds you go through this massive transition of scenes that feels like you are on acid. It just like goes through, I don't even remember, like the kids being born, was that part of it? I don't remember. I can't remember what happened there. It
so
made
much.
No sense. You expect for that kind of scene, oh, he like falls back in his chair or something like that. No, we go through these massive acid trips, and it happens frequently through the film. And then that's when you are like, this, what the hell happened making this film? And then, you saying, hey, this was actually supposed to be an R-rated film, like a Van Wilder, I can see those kind of scenes working in that context. But in a family film, it is a wild ride and just leaves you scratching your head. Like, I couldn't believe it.
The puppet scene, we gotta retouch this. We gotta go back.
Go back, no, definitely.
So Bernie Mac is Jimmy Lunchbox. He's master puppeteer. He's got a show going on where it shows him coming out and just playing a bunch of like pop funk. Well, not one single puppet is on the stage. It's people in costumes, like big mascot costumes, not a single puppet there. And John Travolta they go backstage. John Travolta's with Robin Williams. He's like, Jimmy, Lunchbox, you were telling me about that thing that you were working on, that puppet suit. And Bernie Mac's like, do you mean that puppet suit I told you about in confidence?
Is that really what he said?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
See, the thing about this scene, though, and this whole puppet suit scene with him being controlled remotely as a robot, that almost felt like an entirely different movie.
It did.
Like,
That's why it makes no sense.
You could have built an entire film around that.
I think this is meant to be... It had to be one of the more raunchier scenes, because when they're showing how the suit works, he pulls out a rod and he says you stick it down your pants, but it's a rod that looks like it goes up your ass.
Oh.
Right?
Huh.
So
Did this before we go on? Did this scene with especially having Robin Williams there kind of give a flashback to Death to Smoochie? I don't know. That just like came through my head when seeing Robin Williams with all those suits and stuff.
a little bit. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. I just had like why am I thinking of that movie all of a sudden? And I guess that was just the reason. I don't know. Go ahead.
It was those giant mascot costumes that were dancing around. And like the purple lighting.
Right.
How about the backup benches alone were weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Travolta's in like this, it looks like a VR suit from the Lawnmower Man, like the 1987 film Lawnmower Man.
I mean, how did they devote an entire scene?
They built props and suits for this
for
whole
a 5-second
scene.
scene almost. It's just
Yeah.
It boggles your mind. And Travolta's doing all the movements in the suit, and it would do them for Robin Williams, who has the rod down his pants that's apparently controlling his whole body. But it's the simplest shit. It's like she just wants to have a tea party with fucking Robin Williams, and Travolta's doing the tea movements. Like, just all you got to do, Robin Williams, is go and pretend you're having tea. Why couldn't anyone just tell them they need a whole suit for this? But it ends with them, dancing. Like Travolta's dancing in the VR suit, while Robin Williams mimics those same dance moves, and he's like, "Don't make him spin, make him spin." He's telling this to Bernie Mac, and Bernie Mac's pressing a key on a keyboard, and Robin Williams is spinning, and he spins so fast that he falls into the dog's water dish, and it sparks the rod that's in his pants, and he can't. They lose control of it, and the girl, the daughter, looks at him like he just fucking killed her cat.
It's like, why is she sad? He just fell down and sparked a little bit. It's like something was revealed. Like everything he was doing up to this point was fake. How would you fucking know that? He had to like he had to like come fucking clean and be like, oh no, this is me now. And so the real Robin Williams character comes out and acts all like kingly to his daughter because he has to like fix this and actually, oh look, he can actually act and meet his daughter on her level and be nice. It doesn't fucking matter. She didn't fucking know.
All he did was spin around and fall. And she looked at him like, wow, how could you do this to me?
The sequel, the secret's revealed.
Oh my gosh.
I will say that was a sweet moment when he like finally was doing it naturally. Like, but it was only sweet because Robin Williams is just a charming fellow and he can act. If it was anyone else who did that, the scene would have still been absolute garbage. And even up to that point, it's pretty awful. But he does kind of capture that kind of warming moment. And it's just because he's a good actor, not because the scene was set up to have that payoff perfectly. It was doomed from the start. So I gotta give him that. It's sad. I think watching this film made me really sad that he's gone because he is just a classic.
This is the film
actor.
that makes you feel sad that he's gone.
Well, any film does, but this one especially because it's not a good film. But Robin Williams, and I'm sure he knows also it's not a good film. I think during this time he was also having money problems, which apparently is also why he killed himself. R.I.P. Robin Williams. But he still like even him like probably not even giving it maybe like 40% of his all. Still does a really good job on certain
Is
parts
Robin
like
Williams
that one.
a hack?
But
no, I like it. I agree. He did put it. He helped. Travolta and him carried this movie.
they did absolutely,
I mean,
and John Travolta can just overact, and it's humorous.
Yeah. I implore anyone, if we're not even doing it service.
No.
As
Well,
to
my
how
favorite scene
fucking
even
crazy
gets-
this movie is.
The
What's
zoo,
that?
in my opinion, the zoo was my favorite scene.
It was
Oh
good.
my gosh.
Not just the jetpack, but the fact that they had the idea of, look, here's a locked rain gutter. Let's kick this in and go into the exhibits.
It's broad daylight on a Saturday, and they go up to the front gate, and the guy's like, sorry, zoo's closed.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Fucking close.
And then they actually end up getting into the zoo to where they want to go to the birthday party, and they're like, there's another guard, and he's like, nope, can't get in. This part is definitely closed.
and yet, as they're walking out, remember there's a scene where they get attacked by penguins, or
Yes.
Travolta does,
Oh, I
and they're
forgot
getting
about
out right,
that.
and he's running past a snack stand or a gift shop stand that has a stuffed penguin. Where he goes, "Oh, angry penguins," and throws. Who are they selling it to? Who is the shop open for?
Oh my god, right. Oh shit. Oh my god.
And Seth Green gets off-screen raped by a gorilla.
I'm all out of love. So
And it
Oh,
sounds
man.
like we're
I
making
didn't
this
think
up.
about that. So that does make sense that they would have a scene where the gorilla raped him and is holding like post-coitus. I didn't
If
really
it was
think
an
about
R-rated
that.
movie.
Yeah, you're right. Because it just kind of makes you think that because Seth Green's so small, the gorilla thinks it's his baby. But that makes a lot more sense in the R-rated sense that he would have definitely gotten fucked by the gorilla. Wow.
Yeah, I had flashbacks to the gorilla scene from Baby's Day Out.
Yeah,
For
definitely, definitely.
And again, stuff we're not even hitting, like Seth Green ditching everything to do karaoke. And oh man. But yeah, Robin Williams gets on there's a guy there that they hired for the birthday party who the girl really wants a superhero to show up for her birthday. And Robin Williams, like, he can't get past that second gate. So he goes up to the jetpack guy and bribes him and says, "Can I ride the jetpack to this party?" He's like, "Hey, go for it." It goes up, it comes down. That's all you need to know. And
it's like a game. It's like a ride or something.
yeah, he said it's like a ride. Robin Williams in the, climax of the movie is riding the jetpack across the zoo in full like Evil Knievel garb, like a red, white, and blue jumpsuit, streamers from his arms and whatnot, and he jetpacks to the kids' party, and it's them like. I guess that's not even crazy to think about. That's not even a crazy part of this movie. Of him like getting a jetpack
right.
and driving. It's the most tame part of this movie.
Right. Although the part that still going back to some weird ass editing, like you would imagine, he's going over, he runs out of fuel. So he's trying to descend as quickly as he can. And he's going over this pond. And the weirdest edit, it's shot like, like in a crime drama, you've got your partner and all of a sudden he gets shot. Maybe it's like the end of the season and it does that weird like bam, and it's like a cut and then maybe do a little slow-mo again and cut again to him doing the same motion falling, maybe some sad music in the background, like, whatever. You can imagine it. It's in every kind of film like that. That's what happens when the jetpack runs out and he falls into the pond. And there's like this weird spark. So in my mind, it's like, did he just get shot in the back or something? And he's like falling down? It is the strangest edit.
It was like a triple shot.
It was,
like,
yeah.
He's falling in slow motion, and they like showed several frames of him falling right before he hits the water, and then cuts back up to him back up those 7 frames and shows him falling down again, and then does it one more time, cuts back up, slow motion falling into the water.
Right.
It's
and
a weird cut.
It's weird, and you can do that in like a funny way. Normally, it's wide angle shots. You'll see it, and they'll be like psh, then you'll see it again psh. This was like close in, kind of gritty. Him fall into the water, like it looks like a drama. It's shot like a drama with someone dying. It's so strange, but just so damn fascinating.
Yeah. There's there's so much to this movie that people just need to watch it. You need to get some friends, have some beers, and say, my buddy Gweedo suggested that we watch this, and just like pick it apart, because it's that type of movie. And there's stuff we haven't even mentioned, like fucking his dog dying, or the pee basket with the dog.
The pea basket's a great scene.
Robin Williams upset that the kid unplugged his fax machine,
Right.
which was like the conflict of the movie that was over instantly.
Okay, also, it's 2009. I get it, but having a meltdown over your fax machine.
Zeus can't run without fax machines. That's what he says.
Oh,
And
that's also
and-
the scene where you're gonna do it. Go ahead.
I got a question.
Hold on. He says, he says the fax machine's unplugged for a stupid game. He has a PSP. And he's like, this is why I didn't want to have kids. Because I unplugged my fax machine.
And then the camera pans back, and it's like the boy clutching the doorknob of like the room, looking at him dumbfounded, hearing him say, "I didn't want to have kids."
Oh my
And
gosh.
then what did he say? Like, that's not true. And like, what you just said.
How much you want to bet this was a script from the mid to late '80s that got kicked around over and over again?
Could be. I don't know,
can see
man.
that. I could even see as early as late 90s. I mean, there's a lot of films kind of like this. I mean, if you think of like Happy Gilmore and stuff like that, that kind of pacing for a comedy, but just make it maybe a little more raunchy, or even turn around to like what they did with more of a family friendly tone. It's just the part that just throws you off is the strange editing and the strange like cuts and pacing where it just speeds up out of nowhere for no reason.
See, that's not what threw me off. What threw me off was the complete lack of any kind of logic for anyone's decisions.
Well, that too. Yes, that could definitely throw you off. See, I can expect that out of a bad movie. Like, just, especially like a kid's movie. Like, I don't expect everything to be like ironclad. The logic makes sense. I expected some. But what just kept me on my toes was, when's the next like hard cut, like speed through scenes? 30 seconds later, you're back to where you were, like they were having a meltdown. Like, it was just odd.
The longest
Disney
they've ever
film.
held on a shot in that whole movie was probably like maybe 7 seconds.
Sure.
Frantic, absolutely frantic pace.
Very.
But it's a very happy ending. Robin Williams gets back with his kids. It cuts to roughly about a year later, and they had the deal with the Japanese, which they botched. We didn't talk about that. The botched deal.
Yeah.
But they're on a boat, and Travolta has married the girl from Full House, the interpreter, and they had a baby. And Seth Green is back in the picture too, and he wants to take a picture of the family, the happy family. Everybody's together. They have a baby, and apparently they were taking seasickness pills because they're about to go on a boat, but they ended up taking whatever medication it was that made the face paralysis happen. So the final shot of the movie is the family picture, and everyone, the kids, the Kelly Preston interpreter, Robin Williams, Travolta, and the baby all have those fucking wide Joker smiles, and it's so frightening.
Oh, it creeps me out thinking about it.
It's so frightening. Biggie, you should add that to your tweet when you announce that this is up and available. There's a picture of it posted. Just add that to your tweet so that if people want to see that, they can look up to your tweet, and also follow Just Okay Movies on Twitter.
That's right. Yeah. Follow us at Just Okay Movies so you can see that very freaky picture.
But overall, that's Old Dogs, and it holds a special place in my heart because I saw it with a good buddy of mine while we were out on a ski trip. Everybody else had passed out. We were drunk as shit, and we just like, well, we'll just fucking watch Old Dogs, I guess, because it just recently come out on video, and the whole time we're just like looking back at each other like, what the fuck is this movie? And then from there on, it just it spurred a love-hate relationship for me. I've seen it multiple times.
Well, I'm definitely interested in watching it again because there's just so much I forgot, and I liked hearing you go through it, Guido, because you cover quite a bit of it, but there's still so many little scenes and other plot points that we still didn't cover. And
I'm
I
amazed at
wouldn't
how
mind
much there is in
watching
this
it again.
film.
I know, it's a hour and a half movie. It feels like we're talking about it feels like it should be 2.5 hours because there's so
Yes.
many. They go camping, they go to the zoo, they go to Japan.
I
They
spent
have a
less
puppet
time
master.
deconstructing a Kubrick movie.
All the stuff that happens in their office. They have like a really nice office. I think my favorite part though was when the dog was sitting on his little bed and he gets up and he just starts walking around peeing as he goes.
Yes.
It's classic. It is a funny scene. We didn't even go through the
You know
dog plot hardly at all.
You know what's weird though too for that scene is that out of all the plot inconsistencies and weird backshoots and other things, if you look at the ensuing scene right after the dog pees, they had the pee line in the floor. They
Oh,
had it-
really?
they had it in the shot. Like, well, we got to make sure it's believable. Got to have
Right.
that line of piss.
Yeah, the continuity guy was like, now it's my time to shine. He gets a water bottle and sprays a little line on the
This
floor.
is the one I'll be known for. No, I would recommend it. Not because it's a good movie, as Guido said.
No, it's horrible.
It's a horrible movie, but it is.
But it's good.
It's fascinating in how complex the awfulness is. Like to the level I would say of Battlefield Earth. Like it's at that level of complex because you see a good movie in there. You see it. You see what they were going for, but they failed so many ways and so spectacularly with the editing, the pacing, the dialogue, the inconsistencies. It's all there. So if you like those kinds of films, you will find this one very fascinating.
Right.
Very good. Very good. Well, any closing thoughts? I think we've covered about as much, if not, if we want to go another hour.
No, I think we're good.
Very good.
Just watch it. Give it a shot. But you have to do it. Don't watch it alone. You got to find some friends to watch it with.
Yeah. Anyone who likes watching very bad films, but interesting bad, you'll definitely like it. Well, let's rank this movie. And hey, if you want to follow along with us as we rank it, go to justokmovies.com. Scroll about halfway down the page and click on the link for Just Okay Movies Top Films of All Time. I think that's what I called it. So I am thinking, going through this list, it's so strange. I feel like the last 3 films we've had to use would we watch it over Baby's Day Out has been said quite a few times, and I think I'm about to say it again. I think I would watch Baby's Day Out over this film again if I had the choice. Although I do not think I would definitely not watch Jurassic World again. So it's tough. I personally would. I can't decide. I think I'll listen to see what you guys say. I'm between putting it either above Jurassic World or below it. Guido, what's your thoughts?
So what? Avengers: Infinity War is number 1.
Yes. Yes, it is.
No, I can't be hypocritical with this because, it holds a special place in my heart, and it is funny, but it's funny for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
And it's
right.
funny for it's not the goal that they set. It's like how BIGGIESIZE feels about Battlefield Earth. I feel this way about this movie. So I'm willing to try and forego all that, the wonderful experiences I've had watching this movie, and just look at it as just a movie and base it on its technical merits alone, and it fails in pretty much every aspect, except for the maybe one or two moments where Robin Williams nails some sort of scene where he has to get deep with a child. So that said, it's pretty bad. I don't
like
think
it.
like I like it too, like I said, but it's just a bad film, you know?
Sure.
You're not. I'm gonna let my bias show in my ranking.
Baby's Day Out was just boring. It was boring as fuck. And it also had the same logical fallacies that this had. And like, I'm watching it and I'm like, none of this can happen. These people are making dumb decisions and like the jokes aren't hitting. It's all stale. But there were a few jokes that hit. They did hit well in Old Dogs. So I'm going to put it above Batman and Robin.
Okay.
At the number 13 spot, I guess it would be.
Yes.
Wow, that's exactly where I'm going to put it.
Oh, nice.
That's exactly where I'm going to put it. Below Baron von Munchausen and above Batman and Robin.
Sweet.
Okay.
So we're in agreement.
Okay. Huh. Ooh, I'm conflicted now because, man, I love Batman and Robin.
Yeah, but
Well,
see, you love it. You love it for the reasons I love Old Dogs.
You know, I love the way you said it, Guido, because I do feel the same way. I have that same passion for Battlefield Earth, and I guess it's just the way it hits us, you know, or maybe it's just the time that we see it. It just it resonates with us. I do have that feeling for Battlefield Earth, but you know, I believe the complexity of, well, first of all, I will say Old Dogs is a better film than Battlefield Earth if we're going on a objective viewpoint. I think it does a lot more things right than that movie does. So I definitely want to rank it higher, much higher than that. Same way with Dungeons and Dragons.
Battlefield Earth is fucking unwatchable.
I'll agree to disagree. I will agree with you guys. I think I would watch this movie again over Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin's a fun time because of just how corny it is, but that's about all it has. Where this film, you could, if you're going to go in the subjective realm, you could sit and really pick this movie apart and try to have a fun little puzzle trying to see what was the original content and what was the second or third reshoot and maybe what they were going for. That alone would make this film a lot of fun to watch. And the fact that it is shot fine, it looks fine, all the acting is good in it. I don't think anyone performs poorly. Even the kids are fine. It's just all put together, it became a mess quickly. And so I'll agree with you guys. I would definitely put it above Batman and Robin. So
See,
we have our,
if we look at it in just pure enjoyment, like I've watched this movie so many times with several like different people, and each time I have so much fun. I notice more. I had more fun watching this movie on the multiple occasions that I've ever had watching Doctor Strange, The Last Jedi, Logan, RoboCop, everything but pretty much Avengers. Right. So if it's just enjoyment factor, me personally, I'd put it at number 2.
Sure.
But I understand it's a horrible movie.
Sure. No, I'll agree with you there. So I guess that'll be our number 14th film is Old Dogs. So very interesting.
We didn't bully you into that, did we?
No, God, no. I fought with you guys so many times. I normally end up losing, but I'm okay with that. You know, it's all in fun. No, I agree. I think that's a good place to put it because it really isn't. In many aspects, it's not a bad film. You know, if you just look at individual pieces. Whereas, you know, you look at Baby's Day Out, you look at Batman Robin, and surprisingly, you look at Jurassic World, where there is some pretty horrendous acting and some real parts that just make you groan. You know, where there are films that are just middle of the road, where this film I wouldn't call middle of the road. It's bad, but it's in that bad, interesting part. So, no, I think that's a great place to put it. Number 14. Hey, and if you agree or disagree with us, feel free to shoot us an email at justokmovies@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail. That voicemail number you can find at justokmovies.com. We actually received a voicemail. It was 42 seconds long, so it sounds like whoever sent it was really getting into something, but sadly the audio was silent, so I'm not sure. It could have been something on Google's end. Oh, Google Voice can be a little finicky at times. So, listener, if you're the one who sent that voicemail, please send it again, or shoot me a email with what your question was. I would love to hear it. We would love to discuss it. And that just about wraps it up. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at JustOKMovies, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care.
Bye-bye.